Welcome to WTF Wednesday, and today we're going to be talking about tax transcripts. Do they work or do they not work? And why do they work sometimes and why do they not work most of the time? We're going to have a little bit of fun. It's going to be a little bit of a battle on who's nudging who under the table to stop talking. So let's welcome in our loan officer who's in the background dancing and watching the big TV. I don't know why he's watching the big TV. It's not like Led Zeppelin is on there. All right. So we have not been on in a few weeks and we took a break.
We did?
We did. We
Why?
took a break because we needed the break and we needed to kind of sort through some things and how things are going and if there have been any new developments. And, since there are quite a bit of notable YouTubers on other channels that speak about the grant, we have not really piped in yet on anything about the grants because we work mostly on securing loans. So with that, let's start with, what are we talking? Oh yeah, tax transcripts. Hey, thanks, Michael. Yes, everybody needs a break. Indeed, indeed. So I think the first thing we want to talk about is about.
We have a script.
I know we have, actually we do. Look, it has a title on it and everything. So Trevor has declared on a few times that the transcripts, getting your tax transcripts or your tax returns stamped as a means or a strategy has been something that has been popping up for a few months. And we understand that, but he has been saying, what have you been saying? You have been saying that the likelihood is unlikely, big unlikely. And should we just get out of the gate the newest email?
Let's not give it away.
Oh.
Let's not give it away.
Oh.
All right, give it away.
So
Go ahead.
riveting.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away,
Well,
give it away.
on one of our files.
Hello, Darlene.
Darlene, hello.
Okay, go on. Read.
Yes, thank you. I am feeling better.
From the SBA trusted resource loan officer that we received this afternoon on a file that we are working on for an increase.
Yes.
And the client hired a knucklehead to do his tax returns.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah. You know, we're always telling small business owners, I don't care if you're an Uber driver, self-employed independent contractor, a carpenter who does kitchen cabinets, on the weekends, or, you have a 5-employee business and you're doing, 2.6 million in revenue. If you're a small business owner, the people that surround you as your trusted professional resources are a key element to your success or failure. In this case, our client, who does substantially well in his independent business, hired a moron to do his tax returns. And the part-time tax return preparer wannabe, I say part-time, I'm being kind. And apparently when she filed his tax return in October of last year, the IRS came back with some kind of an error message, and she never responded to the error message. And therefore, his tax return was never filed into the IRS system because the IRS said, stop, we need this information first. It was some technical thing about the e-filing. I checked it with one of our trusted CPAs. He goes, yeah, she probably got an error message and never responded to it. I go, what kind of error message? He's like, oh, we're not going to get into that. Okay. So anyway, so she has now woken up thanks to us alerting the client and the client tracking her down. And on June 28th, she filed the return. And then last Friday, the client was able to download the transcript from the IRS website. So tax returns filed. Great. I spoke to the loan officer today, who's a pro, somebody I've worked with on another file before, and he's a serious pro. He's really awesome.
Well, here's a little tidbit on this particular SBA rep. He was the one on the other end of the phone when we did our one-time live call to the SBA, where I said, I don't want to be that show where we're calling the SBA and,
and I was being my total loan officer jackass self. And I said, I'm going to show the whole world how to call the SBA. And I called him And then we've since told him how he's a superstar celebrity on our show. In
All
any
right.
event, I spoke to him about it by email today. I did not prefer the transcript without his permission or his request. And I acknowledged that. I said, respectfully, you know, if you wish to see it, I will be happy to send it to you with the full knowledge and understanding that you may not accept it as valid verification. And he asked to see it. He had a look at it. He said, okay, thanks. This is perfect. It matches the tax return. Good. Tell him what he said next, Linda.
Well, I don't have to tell you. I can
put it up on a
show
banner.
you.
Truth bomb.
We cannot accept transcripts provided by the applicant. So that has been
New guidance. See, according to our new guidance, we cannot accept transcripts provided by the applicant. Where have I heard that before, Linda Ray?
You have heard that from yourself.
Oh,
Talking to yourself.
how many times?
Many, many times. So
Because I called it. I interrupted you there, but you didn't kick me under the table. That's a good sign. I called it underwriter discretion because when I worked in the bank, in the mortgage company, and the underwriter said, look, I don't have a 4506 transcript back yet, and I know you want to clear the file for closing. If you, the loan officer, take the applicant to the IRS office in the Bronx and have the transcript stamped, the tax return stamped as received, then I will be happy to sign off.
but that was a different time. It was a different product.
I'm not
it was
done.
a different
Look,
process.
there's a whole script here.
Oh,
See?
there's-
There's a
okay.
whole script. See?
Okay.
Okay. That was what is called underwriter discretion. Now, the underwriter did not call the applicant who was looking to borrow $500,000 to buy a house and say, go to the IRS office and give it to me and I'll accept. No. She said to me, the loan officer, Trevor, you're the loan officer. You work for the bank. You're the trusted resource. You go and witness the IRS stamp, because at the IRS office, they do it right there at the front desk. You walk in, they have this giant stamping machine. And so I was able to come back to the bank with the stamped return. She said, you went to the IRS office with them? And I had to sign an attestation, a certification that I witnessed this on such and such date, such and such time. She wasn't going to accept this from the borrower, the applicant. That's why this whole thing where you all are out there in the world going, oh, go get your transcripts, go get your tax returns stamped and give it to the SBA.
The other thing too is the amended returns. We did a whole video on this with that being, there are certainly
Another
legit,
load of hooey.
well, there's legit reasons that why someone's going to want to get their tax returns amended. But I think
There's a script. See right here?
yes, I understand
It's
that.
Trevor. Linda says, Trev, it's not the small business owner's fault to think like this.
I have a banner for it. I can.
They're desperate for these funds.
If I want to
They'll
speak,
do whatever it takes to get their funding. See? It's a script.
if I want to speak extemporaneously, I need to buy a vowel. I will do so at my
There are
discretion.
quite a few vowels in
At my
extemporaneously, by the way.
discretion, wearing the business owner hat. So per my
Listen, I
banner,
spent at least 7 minutes typing up this script.
and per my banner, and per the evidence of the SBA being completely dysfunctional.
Oh, wait. So she's got the banner up. Truth bomb. It's not entirely a small business. And my response is, Linda,
there's okay.
you're right.
Is it wait?
The truth
Is this the other?
of the matter
Yes.
is that this idea probably was generated by someone at the SBA, because I heard these words come out of an SBA agent's mouth on the phone. He said to me, well, if you get me the transcripts, and I was like, wait, you'll accept the tax transcripts from me?
Louis.
From the applicant?
Yeah.
So I was shocked.
601.
By the way, remind me sometime to tell you the story about the guy who said to me when I went to the real estate office to pick up his paperwork, and he says to me, hey, I went to the IRS office and got my tax return stamped.
Yeah.
I said, good for you. We can't accept those. He said, well, by the way, the stamp was fake.
Oh, well,
And that's why you as the applicant are not permitted to submit these quality control measures.
Well, that was my
It's a
other truth bomb.
verification device
Yes.
used to verify that the tax return you put in the file is the real tax return.
Yeah. Okay. So
You're
next,
supposed to say, well, The truth
is
the SBA
sucks
sucks
at communicating.
clarity of messaging.
I paraphrase.
I wrote that whole sentence.
I know, but
clarity of messaging. It has a flow to it. It's poetic.
Paraphrased. So the SBA has failed to forget about the delays in processing. Forget about you submitted your document 13 times or 23 times or 113 times. There's no transparency or communication coming out of the offices to even report a simple website maintenance malfunction or that the website is down for maintenance or whatever. They can't even tell people that, much less.
When SBA tends to talk, it tends to be like, hey, we funded so many dollars of loans.
Oh, I know.
Oh, whoop-de-doop-de.
Well, they go PR, right? Instead of the BS of what's the reality and the truth bombs, the reality checks and truth bombs, they go with all this PR nonsense to, shiny bling bling thing over here.
Haven't we said it a couple of times here on our show that what would it have taken the SBA at any point in the last 15, 16 months to take
Kobina.
2, 3, 4, 5, hey, Kobina, 2, 3, 4, 5, experienced SBA representatives, loan officers, underwriters, whatever you have, lock them in a conference room for an entire day and just create a whole list of basic messaging. Like, here's how the portal works, which, by the way, I wrote the chapter this morning about the SBA portal. I started writing the chapter for our book, Roadmap to Reconsideration. I wrote the first part of the chapter about the SBA portal this morning. I did the section about describing what the create account feature, how that works and what you'll see and so forth. It took me as long as I had the iPad set up on the kitchen counter over here while the coffee was brewing. And that's how long it took me to brew 8 cups of coffee in our Mr. Coffee machine. That's how long it took me to type up some clear bullet points about. So what would it take SBA? So they suck at messaging.
By the time we finish this roadmap to reconsideration, y'all going to get funded. Quite frankly,
I hear a bus.
There's a big bus, and it's backing up.
All right, moment of Trevor truth here. This is the loan officer. So tonight's show is inspired by this email we received from an SBA loan officer. Said, as per SBA guidance, we do not accept the tax transcripts submitted by the borrower. Which, you can assume the same for the stamped tax returns. All right. Yep. But here's the other truth. That's the truth that none of you want to hear. Okay. Here's the truth. Loan officer here. Because.
Was this on the script?
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay.
It's a really big section on the script. It's a really big section.
Okay.
Here's the truth. Most of y'all really suck at filling out these applications.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you suck so bad, you don't know how bad you suck at it. And you are constantly fighting with the SBA over your suckiness. Instead of stepping back, putting on your loan officer hat and saying, let me look at this and figure out what did I do wrong here that needs explaining to somebody who's trying to make a lending decision to give me several $100,000.
Yeah. Now, see, this is usually where I come in and try to, have the business owner hat on and calm him down.
Not happening tonight.
But we see too many mistakes. And then not only that, but people resist hearing that this is part of the problem. And someone was trying to refer someone to us. And they sent an email.
Oh, you're going to throw that guy under the bus?
Well, guy or girl, I don't even remember. They sent the email chain where they were communicating with the SBA.
Yeah. Not that guy.
And the person said, I already submitted this.
Stop questioning. Start submitting.
What does it take for you? First of all this shit should be organized somewhere where it takes not but a minute to grab it and attach it to an email and send it. It doesn't matter.
The SBA is verifying the information on your EIDL application this year because that's what we call in the financing industry prudent underwriting practices. When y'all got this money last year, it was the COVID wildfire. The United States government was trying to throw money at the United States economy. And guess what? They did it, and they saved the American economy. And now here you are a year later, and we know how many of you are desperate. We know how many of you are anxious. But that doesn't give you the right to lose your brains because the SBA wants you to explain 4 different addresses that appear on 5 different documents that you submitted?
Yeah.
Or why does the DBA change without an explanation? Or you just filed an amended tax return and you want me to give you the money today? You all are fighting this. We know you need the money, but you've got to step back, put your loan officer hat on, and think like a lender. And then you will win these arguments you're having. By the way, that's how I win the arguments I have.
Well, we did a video where I said it a couple times. You have to be better than the SBA. You have to, as a business owner, you have to take pride in how you are organized with your documents. If you really want this money, instead of asking, why do you need this? Or I already submitted this. Why don't you have it already? Just send it, because this is what they're going to do. Oh, I don't get paid enough to deal with this. I'm just going to go to the next file. And that's what happens. That's, there was a news report where I just spit all over the screen. I was over here. There was a news report that said there's 19 million applications. Is that even true? I don't know, but I guarantee you there is a huge fraction that are duplicates. Why? Because people were.
That's in an article in the Dallas Morning News. A reporter from the Dallas Morning News contacted us today, and apparently she wants to interview us.
Hey, Dallas.
Hey, Larry. Larry, I sent you an email. You did not respond, and I'm not happy about that. Yesterday, Larry, just saying, just talking to both of your email addresses. So, the article had 19 million, I think, was the number of applications. And you all are wondering, why is it taking so long? Listen, the other reason it's taking so long is because the folks who have like the worst applications and the least desire to help untangle the web of their unique business story for the loan officer who has to make a decision. Those people are clogging it up for all the rest of you. All the rest of you who tune into our show, who want to get clarity or hire us to do it for you as an advocate. Either way, you folks are way, way ahead of the curve of this other group, but the other group is clogging up the works for you.
Yeah.
They're the ones slowing down to look at the little baby deer that got hit by the tractor trailer over there. I gotta get to work. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That may be not good metaphor. I got kicked under the table. First time in this show.
Not bad. So we pride on our channel to give you cogent, sage advice.
That's my word, by the way, cogent.
That you can realistically apply to your process. Okay. We are trying to give it to you to use it. But at the same time, for free. But at the same time, you have to listen to us when we say, stop being part of the problem, because you are sometimes. We love you, though.
Here's the thing. When we work for you, when you hire us to do this SBA process for you, whether it's a new application or an EIDL reconsideration or an appeal on a declined reconsideration, either way, we are your advocates. Okay. And I'm putting on my loan officer brain cap to sort through all the obstacles of what I think a lender can have in making an approval decision in your favor. And you cannot believe the pushback I get from our own clients. And they're paying us. It's their money.
Yeah.
It's their money. There's a couple of people right now that I've got some weird address things going on, and I've asked for explanations, and you got to see the crazy explanations come back about their multiple addresses. The SBA is looking at these things because they have to underwrite a file. This is what lenders do.
Okay, now here's the flip side where I'm going to be back on your side as the business owner. Where
you mean back on their side?
Back on
on my side.
On the business owner side. But now I've already forgotten it. Now I've already forgotten it because
I didn't even kick you under the table.
That shit is happening. Okay. I don't even remember where it's going. I don't even remember where it's going.
You said I'm going to put my hat on.
I'm going to put my hat on. I
multiple addresses.
I really don't remember.
Thank you, Darlene.
Thank you, Darlene. Thank you very much. Appreciate that so much. What I don't even remember where we were. Business owner. Just trying to.
What do you think on that while I read what Darlene wrote? I love you guys because you just tell it like it really is. And if people want to see good results, we have to buckle up and leave our feelings at the door when you come to this channel. Oh, just this channel. I thought you were going to say when you get involved with the SBA, Darlene, because that's really where you've got to check your emotions at the door.
This might have. I'm definitely taking a screenshot of this and putting this somewhere prominently, because I don't even feel bad about that. I mean, we get some hater comments and we get some people that are just annoyed and angry and whatever. But
by the way, you do not have to leave your emotions at the door, because I was on the phone with one of our dear clients. It took 4 months to get her approved. We got her approved, and her father passed away. Actually, I'm getting emotional right now, even talking about it. Her father passed away and during this year, and she couldn't attend his funeral because of COVID and so forth. But when she got approved, the morning that she and I went on to the SBA website on the phone to sign the closing documents, I started crying.
He did.
See, that's when I get emotional.
I was there.
We had a client last Friday who signed his closing documents for $500,000.
Yes.
He was declined last summer for insufficient credit. It's because he had no credit. He's a fairly recent immigrant to the United States and just never built up a credit profile. I mean, there are folks out there who don't have credit. And as per SBA's own statement of procedures manual, it says you cannot decline somebody simply because they don't have credit.
Right.
The loan officer should strive to look for other means to qualify the borrower, like asking for letters of credit, which he has up the wazoo because he owns a factory. In any event, he came to us in January or February, and we filed a reconsideration. During the process, he did a couple of really stupid things that threw wrenches in my machine of getting him approved, and it thus took longer. His loan got declined, his reconsidered, so I had to file an appeal. I've got an amazing loan officer on the SBA appeals team last week. She was the
she was
female version of me. She was like calling me every 10 minutes, go, Trevor,
superstars.
She goes, Trevor, ask him about this address. Okay, click. Trevor, ask him for a better copy of the driver's license. Click. Okay. Trevor, can you get me this? Can you answer that for me? And he says he can only get $182,000 on the portal. There's that infamous portal that I don't trust. But I want to get him $500,000, Trevor. Can you get me the 2020 tax return? So I give her the 2020 tax return. She says, you know what? Can you just give me 12 months bank statements from 2020 instead of the 2020 tax return? Because I'd rather not put the tax return in the file because that will slow down. Why? Transcripts.
IRS, back up.
So we get the bank statements. Here's the thing. He's in a small rural area, and the little bank that he had his business account with last year was bought out by a bigger bank, Pac-Man. And they changed statements. I get a call from her saying, can you please get me an explanation as to why the bank statements look slightly different? This is the kind of things that a great loan officer and a great underwriter looks at.
Because they're actually trying, and he actually got approved for $500,000.
She got him approved, and she kept saying, Trevor, I like my files to go smoothly because I have 2 other layers above me that have to approve my decision-making on the appeals team. I want to get him the $500,000. So it was phenomenal 48 hours.
This is why
old school. I was like, yeah, this is what I do, baby.
Well, Darlene, and to your comment that I absolutely love, and we've had to build a thick skin being here on YouTube and having our videos. The thing is, we really are on your side. And if you think you have to leave your emotions at the door if you visit our channel, even our clients actually sometimes have to buckle in because we don't make up how our process is. It is through experiential, evidential, is that a word? Results that have happened or a lack of results. We have certain processes that our clients sometimes buck up against, And it's like, listen, if you hired us to help you. So stop resisting the process because we're on your side.
That's why when we say to you that most of you all suck at doing an application, that's what I mean. Instead of arguing, I'll tell you what, our client last week with the $500,000, anything I needed with the loan officer's questions, she called me, I called him, I sent him a text message.
5 minutes.
He's like, got it, done, got it, done, got it, done, got it, done, got it, done.
Okay.
No argument. Because as he wrote in his review on our Google page, and thank you for that, Scott. His name is Scott. He said,
do you need me to pull it up? Do you remember?
Do what Trevor and Linda tell you to do. Yeah.
You know, we have a clause in our contract now where we say, if you talk to the SBA, if you log in, if you email them, if blah, 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 that's it. Because we've seen it. People get declined.
You're preventing us from doing our job.
And they get declined. And then they come back and they are wondering what's going on, what's happening. Why are you not getting back to me right away? Well, now we have to strategize. Now we have to think about it. And now we have to even be better than it was before because you stepped in and you gave them info that screwed it up. So, you know, and listen,
imagine this
business owner hat. I will say this because, again, I'm going to go back to, I hate repeating myself, but we did a poll and there was too large of a percentage of business owners who have never been through the business loan process. And now we're trying to, for over almost a year and a half now, trying to get money out of a government agency, and you're struggling. Because you've never had to go through this before. You don't know the layers and the variables and the moving parts.
Here's the advice from this awesome appeals loan officer last week. She said one of the questions he had was about a duplicate application that he had put in. It turns out just before, and he totally forgot about it when I questioned him about it. He had put a duplicate application in 2 weeks before he hired us. And she said, you know, Trevor, I need an explanation, and it has to be, you know, and she goes, you know, Trevor, honesty is the best policy. I will tell you where I was sitting when I spoke to her. I was sitting right there, right on the couch. We were watching a movie when the call came in at like 8:30 at night. She's like, you know, Trevor, honesty is the best policy. I said, Vicky, you are preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
I'm a loan officer and I'm proud of that designation. And honesty is, and that's all it is. You know, I think you all get wrapped up in this idea like, oh my God, if I tell them that, it's going to torpedo my loan approval. No, actually, in many cases, telling the truth actually gets you where you need to be.
Yeah. So Raul, yes, we remember you. We did a whole video, probably 2 or 3 of them on schedule 2202. I'll get the link and put it in the comments.
So I want to talk about 4506T since tonight's episode of WTF is about truth and transcripts. And we started out our show by talking about a communication we received from a trusted resource loan officer, a really excellent loan officer, who said SBA's rules are they will not and cannot accept your transcript if you send it to them directly, or your stamped tax return by extension of that statement. So you're left in the muck of the SBA process of sending the 4506T, of which we've done multiple videos on how to fill that out. So please don't ask about it tonight. 4506T, send that to the IRS so the IRS can give back a transcript, which is a 1 or 2 page document that has line by line by line all the lines from your tax return. And that's a quality control measure. So the thing about the 4506T, when I see comments on our YouTube videos or elsewhere on the internet, and people are losing their mind, oh my God, the SBA, they're so terrible. They sent my 4506T and they said it came back, no record found. I'm going to hazard a guess, folks, loan officer, to all of you, that 7 out of 10, maybe even higher, percentage of those 4506 forms were filled out incorrectly by you and also by the SBA, and you let them. We had a comment one day where somebody went into the portal and she said the 4506T on the portal was completely wrong. Her name was misspelled. Oh, her name was Melissa, and it had Masilla or something like that. It was like a complete disaster. I looked at it with her. I was like, holy cow. So she called customer service for assistance, and that idiot told her, no, sign it so it doesn't slow down your process. I'm sorry. Yeah. We've said it here 3,000 times. If you fill out a 4506T incorrectly and it goes to the IRS, they cannot find your tax return. You got to fill it out correctly.
Okay. Listen, we had a comment where someone said they were annoyed by your voice.
Already?
Of course,
I just got here.
I deleted and blocked it. But
what, you mean tonight that happened? Hey,
no. No, there was somebody else who said, I'm getting a headache from listening to you. I mean, people are just
All right, I'm
so
just going to
mean.
look at the scroll comments
People
here.
are
You
so
can talk now.
mean.
I'm done.
No,
Somebody literally just said that just now.
no, they said it the beginning of the week or something silly. But
You didn't tell that.
I didn't
tell me that until now.
I didn't have to tell
Live
you.
on the air, you tell me that.
I don't have to tell you. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, what's the point?
I mean, that's the kind of thing you tell me while I'm folding laundry or something.
Okay. I'll tell you something else next time you're folding laundry, if that makes you happy.
You tend to not talk to me while I'm folding laundry, by the way.
Well, that's because I don't want to disturb you. Why would I want to interrupt you when you're doing such a chore? And then I don't have to. I know, right, Michael? It's really, I mean, they don't even, it's like.
Louis Tobasi, how are you, sir? Mean people don't appreciate what you guys are doing for the community. Thanks,
Thank you
Louis.
so much. Thank you. All right. So I think we've actually made it through since we have a few more
let's
people.
do some promotions before we, if you got any questions,
what I want to do
fire
is
them up.
We have more people that started from when so let me just put up again the email to reiterate, confirm, triple check, and double back that the SBA, according to this rep, is advising that new guidelines support that they can't accept transcripts from the applicant. I just want you to grasp onto that, because we also know that the SBA, in its chaos and confusion, is terribly inconsistent. So we may be saying this right now, and there will be somebody who can attest to having gotten something.
Oh, yeah.
Through the system.
Well, that's why it's called underwriter discretion.
Right.
And if a manager at the SBA decides to sign off on you having submitted your own transcript that you downloaded from the IRS, or a stamp tax return you submitted, bully for them. That's why it's called underwriter discretion. Yeah. But what we're saying to you is, don't expect that. And that's what I have always said. I have never varied from saying this to any of you here on the show or elsewhere on our free phone calls. Do not expect, because you have a stamp tax return or a transcript that you download and you send it in, that is automatically acceptable for your loan approval.
Yeah, see, underwriter discretion. Darlene is on the ball. Darlene, we need to bring you on, invite you on our show, and you can be the person that says.
Okay, Dr. JC, here you go. I just got denied because of the wrong 4506T issue. They asked for 1120, but I needed to be 1065. Just entered reconsideration. Doctor, who filled out the 4506T? And it's okay if you throw yourself under the bus. I will not judge you. I've already judged you before.
He's already judged everybody.
I've already judged everybody.
It's Judgment Day.
A few minutes ago, I said y'all suck at doing applications, and I don't mean that like in a angry or mean way. I mean it in the way that this is not what you do. So I would love to know, Dr. J, who filled out that 4506T. Asking for 1120 instead of the 1065.
All right. Well, so in the meantime.
Well, a couple of promo moments. First of all, yes. Dr. J, you signed it. There you go.
There you go.
So my advice has been to never sign if you have a 4506 in the portal, if it's incorrect, folks, don't do what Dr. J did. Create your own 4506T with the correct information
outside of the portal,
and email that to the PDC team, okay, and the COVID increase team. Send it to them directly, and do not sign the 4506T in the portal. This is part of that madness that people have, like, oh, if I don't do this, I won't get the money.
Yes.
It doesn't work like that. You've got to do it correctly so you can get the money.
Submitting anything faster or responding quickly, that's not the secret sauce. It's not. It's doing it accurately and what's another word? Accurately.
Accurately and accurately.
But this is Larry.
Bully for you, Larry.
Oh, yes.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yes. Good. Dr. J doing it.
So Dr. J, let me give you another piece of advice. Step back, take a couple of hours break from everything you're doing, and get all of your documents that pertain to your business, your articles of formation, your filing receipt for your EIN, how many shares, you have partners, what's the percentage of ownership? It's a 1065. So you're an LLC or an LLP, a partnership organization. You're not a corporation. What is the percentage of ownership? Okay. They're going to ask you that.
And before I forget,
your driver's license, that we're seeing SBA kicking back driver's licenses left, right, and center. Those have to be crystal clear, color, proper scan, not a photo converted to a PDF.
You're right,
Dr. J, get all of your documents and go through them like you're the underwriter and you're saying, I don't want to give this Dr. J the money. I don't want to give him the money. And look for every reason in your paperwork why SBA can say no. Because you're going in the reconsideration process. You're at a whole other level of scrutiny. And you want to get it right this time. By the way, that's exactly how I function as a loan officer.
Yeah. I forgot again. You can't cut me off. You can't cut me off when I'm cutting you off, because then I'm not going to remember stuff. It's just science. Right. It's biology.
All right, folks, if you find tonight's show, hit the thumbs up. Write a Google review. You know, we do all these free shows on Wednesdays. We do the free 15-minute phone calls. Linda spends countless hours answering questions here in the comments of all of our YouTube videos. We are trying to do our little part because we're all in this together, and we have accurate knowledge to share with you that actually gets you to move the ball down the goal line and get a touchdown, okay? And all we ask you is a tiny, tiny price to pay for that is to write a Google review for us on our Google page. Linda will put the link up so you can write a review and tell them, you know, how good looking she is and how nasty I am and how awesome the information is. Please, please, please.
Yeah. So, all right, hold on. I'm putting the review in because there we go. All right. So, Marion, it's been a while, lady.
Marion, don't worry about it.
Don't worry
NISCS code. That's just data collection. That's all it is. That will not prevent you from getting your forgiveness. Yeah. Besides, if your loan, Marion, is less than $150,000, it's 100% forgiven by Congress already.
Yeah.
The rest of it's just a formality. So, by the way, we got a big forgiveness file approved.
Yes, we did.
2 weeks ago.
Yes, we did.
A client hired us. It's a big contracting company here in Connecticut, and I went to their office. I got vaccinated and I went to their office and sat there for 5.5 hours and sorted through their paperwork and filed online on their computer with Bank of America for them their forgiveness application. And the approval came in 2 weeks ago. And boy, that guy was happy. He was happy. And Bank of America didn't come back and ask for a single additional document. By the way, you know why that is? Bank of America didn't ask for any additional paperwork or give any hassles about the forgiveness application?
I'm going to guess because you actually completed it in its entirety without confusing errors and messages and blah, blah, blah. That it was correct.
And also because I'm a
loan officer.
Oh, give the girl a prize.
Okay, so
Richard Jones, no, 4506. Why would the 4506T go away ever? It's a quality control measure that all lenders use to verify that a tax return put into a file. I am
interested, if you did hear that from somewhere, if it's Reddit, you must share that with us just for a giggle and a little comedy.
Richard, we would definitely want to hear where you heard that the 4506T is going on.
Yeah, I would love to know.
Kathy Lee Haggerty, I'm happy we did the 4506T together. Love you, Trevor. Kathy, we love you too.
All right, G. Busta.
I still think you should fire your accountant, Kathy Lee, but that's just me being the arrogant Scottish loan officer that I am.
Yeah, this is interesting with the whole PDFs. It's possible they can't open it.
Well, okay, G. Busta, let me answer this for you. First of all, no, do not call them. Do not call the SBA. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Here's what you want to do, G. Busta. So we have a new term here at Aurora Consulting. So we have a file manager. Her name is Lorraine. So when a client hires us, we have a secure cloud portal for each business client, and they upload their PDFs. Lorraine then organizes those into a fashion for me to underwrite the file. And a few days ago, Lorraine and I created what's called the gold standard for how a driver's license should be scanned and how a voided check should be scanned. It has to be large on the page. It should be at the top of the page. You don't know how many driver's licenses I see that they're here in the middle and they're sideways, or they're at the bottom. Okay, so it should be at the top of the PDF page, and it should fill the entire space. So when you're looking at the screen, kind of like here on YouTube where you see me and Linda, that's what your driver's license should appear at as on the PDF. It should be a real scan, not a photograph converted to a PDF. Fail. Same thing with the void check. You know how many of those voided check and driver's licenses I get sent to us by our clients that are a photograph snapped on a steering wheel or a kitchen counter, you know, or God knows where else? Unacceptable. Right. So, G-Buster, my recommendation is to use a proper scanner, or if you're going to use one of these, a proper scanning app, of which there are only 2 that we will recommend and even accept here at Aurora Consulting, which is where we go gold standard. And by the way, my documents don't get rejected at SBA. No. Just so you know. So first app.
But sometimes they can't open them. That happened once, actually.
No, yeah, but
once. And actually their systems were down, evidently.
It was firewall stuff. So apps, here you go.
Chase, I commented. We just said no moments ago. So
I want to know where that's coming from. That sounds like that's coming from some punk ass on Reddit.
No, it's not. Richard said people are saying it on YouTube.
Well, then who's saying it on YouTube? Because it's coming from somewhere. 4506T is not going away. Let me finish for G-Buster because he has really great question, and it's an important technical question. The 2 apps that we recommend is Adobe Scan, or if you have an iPhone, the Notes feature on the iPhone is an amazing scanning program for creating a real PDF. And what you do is you create a new note, and when you go to you open Notes, you create a new note, and at the bottom, you'll see a camera at the bottom of the note. Tap on the camera and then tap on PDF. Hold your phone over the document, hit snap, and the iPhone does the rest. And those are some of the cleanest PDFs you can possibly get. So there you go. And no, G-Buster, do not call them. Okay, let's go to this 4506T going away. First of all, I've been reading 4506T since 1996.
1996.
That's how many years?
Do you think it's going away?
That's almost 30 years.
I don't think it's going away.
Not going away, folks. You know why? It's a minimal standard quality control measure. Anytime a tax return goes into a file for a loan approval, whether it's a mortgage or an SBA EIDL loan or a regular SBA loan or a line of credit at a bank, they're going to get a 4506T signed by the applicant and sent to the IRS by the lender. It cannot pass through the hands of the borrower. It goes from the IRS to the lender directly as a way to say, okay, this is the tax return that was really filed with the IRS, and this is the tax return that is in the file submitted by the applicant or the borrower if you're an increased client. And they must match exactly. You know why they do that? Because people actually submit fake tax returns. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So no, 4506T is not going away.
I mean, it's a prediction, but you know, here he says it's a prediction that they'll treat it like a 7A moving forward.
Oh, do I see a name?
Yeah.
Oh, so Jason McAlow and Speak and See are saying this?
Yeah, yeah.
And Skip?
And Skip. Yeah.
No, so Dr. J, I watched Skip's video about the 4506T, and what he was saying, he was quoting from an SBA SOP, which is a statement of procedures, an internal document that goes to SBA staff and to SBA approved lenders. And what Skip was talking about, I watched 8 out of the 10 minutes, and I'm familiar with SOPs, and I'm familiar with lending practice because I was a lender. And here's the thing. It is lender's discretion if they want to close a regular SBA loan, a 7A or a 504, without a tax transcript because the SBA, the IRS is backed up. At the 806 mark in Skip's video, he quotes an email from his trusted SBA source, and he puts it up on his banner on his YouTube video, and guess what it says? The email from his SBA source says, this does not apply to the COVID-19 program. And folks, it ain't going to happen. So cut it out. You have to wait to get the money.
Yeah. So Kieran Kumar.
By the way, just remind them all that I've been right on every prediction I've made.
It's true. I mean, I really don't want it to be true.
I'm not trying to come off like an asshole.
I don't want it to be true because you know how
she wants me to be wrong.
Hear how right he is all the time is annoying. and frustrating because then there's this that goes on. Like, who needs to live with that? No. Okay.
But how many times have I been wrong?
Yeah.
How many?
None. You've been right on all predictions, even if it took months and months. There were things that happened that was like, yep, called that, 6 months ago, 3 months ago. There's so much humility, Michael, in what is going on here. Yeah.
Michael, these are not the droids you're looking for.
So, Kieran, maybe Trevor, you understand the question. You didn't make enough to file Schedule C. So I don't understand. I don't understand the question.
Fire your accountant, Kieran.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Question answered. And now we're back to thank you, Marion.
Thank you, Marion.
We love seeing you here.
I may be arrogant, but I'm funny too.
Yeah, he is. He is funny. He's smart.
So, Marion, what is the final solution for folks whose 4506T returns a blank transcript that recently filed an amendment? Okay. So there's a couple of issues to unpack here with your question, Marion. First of all, let me revert to my arrogant, angry statement earlier in our show tonight, which was one of many.
How can you be angry and then do a happy dance? I just don't.
All right, here's what I said. Speaking of clogging the works and truth, you all want to know the primary reason why your tax transcripts come back no record found, Marion? It's because most of you all, I don't know about you, Marion, but I'm talking about generally, most people fill out the form incorrectly. And Dr. J verified a moment ago that he went ahead and signed the form for the wrong tax return because it was on the SBA website. And he trusted the SBA, which is another mistake you all make. Put on your loan officer critical. That 4506T has to exactly match the information that's on your tax return. So that's the first thing. Now, with regards to an amended tax return, Marion, I don't know your situation, and I apologize in advance if this is going to sound harsh, but this whole amended return, I've called this in the last couple of months as being potentially a fraudulent behavior on the part of SBA EIDL applicants, because it is clear to me, 30 plus years in the lending world, that when a whole pile of people are piling on to a concept of filing an amended return while they're at the same time requesting an increase on their EIDL loan, to me, that sounds like a pile of fraud.
Horse hooey.
Because it is obvious to my banker's brain that people are trying to file an amended tax return. What happened?
I don't know. Are we still live? Because I kind of exited out of something and I don't know if we're still live. I hope we are. Okay, we might still be live.
I'll tell you if we're live.
Oh, do it on the big screen. Okay, first of all, okay, good. Dr. J, I'm going to tell you this. I did a video on credit. They're not looking at scores. They're looking at your ability to repay the loan.
Well, that's not true.
What?
They are looking. No, they are looking at scores.
They're looking at scores, but then they're as a backup. If it's
so, we just had a loan for one of our clients. A reconsideration declined on Friday, so I have to now file an appeal. And I will tell you that the loan officer really. I communicated with the loan officer by email. He was a hero. This guy bent over backwards to get the money to this client, but his hands were tied for a multiple variety of factors I won't go into here, but there was a bankruptcy. There's a late payment after the bankruptcy on the credit report. The score is 570 something. Might be 567. I don't know. And that's my credit report. We pull a real credit report, not that crap you get on these things. In any event, there were other things he attempted to do, assessing the borrower's ability to repay. So the legislation, the second stimulus says, the SBA is instructed by the Congress of the United States that in an EIDL loan, in the absence of a sufficient credit score, to use other means as necessary, including, if necessary, assessing the borrower's ability to repay, to approve the loan. So Congress is instructing the SBA to go to extraordinary lengths. And I will tell you, this loan officer went to extraordinary lengths. I believe I will win in an appeal where they look at a more detailed scrutiny of the documents, and I'll have a more judicious arena to present my arguments as to why they should make the loan for the client. But so they do look at credit reports.
Yeah.
Did you forget again? Because I stopped talking.
No, I
And I
just,
didn't even kick you under the table. Or
that's all right. It's fine. I mean,
Marion tells us we're live, so thank you.
no, there's a, yeah. So, and G Busta, I think you already left us a review, but I put the link in the comments.
Oh, here's Matabir telling me that I don't let you talk.
Well, listen, Trevor is the loan officer. We have disclaimed where people say, you know, let Linda talk. It's like, sometimes I don't want to talk. Sometimes I don't really. Sometimes he's the one that knows the intricate details of the process.
Truth in transcripts, folks.
You really want Trevor to notify you when there's something accurate going on. I'm just a pretty face.
I kind of want to finish Marion's comment or question about the amended tax return, because we know this has been a thing. Look, here's my opinion, professional opinion on the amended tax returns or on a tax return. If you have recently filed your 2019 tax return, because we know a lot of folks have just done that also, or you are filing an amended tax return just recently, you're going to have to wait for your EIDL approval.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I don't care what other people are saying out there about the 4506T going away. You know, as a loan officer, as a lender, if I were making a lending decision and I had an option to ignore a tax transcript, that means everything else in that file had better be 110 million gazillion % amazingly perfect, because I need to sign off and put my name as the underwriter on that file. Think about that. So when you're posting about these other people saying that because SBA gave lenders the guides, I promise you, lenders are not going to ignore a tax transcript. If y'all think that just because some guy on YouTube says, oh, I got an SBA memo, and the SBA is giving lenders permission to let the 4506T slide and the transcript slide, have you ever worked at a lender? They're more strict than the SBA. Are you nuts? They're not letting these tax transcripts fly. Jeez. And I dare anybody to come on our channel and tell me I got approved for a line of credit for $350,000 or a 504 SBA loan or a 7A SBA loan from a bank, a traditional or a portfolio SBA lender, and I got approved, Trevor, and you're full of crap, Trevor, because they didn't use my tax transcripts. I dare you to come on this show and tell me that, because you know what, folks? It's not going to happen. This is not how lending works.
Okay. So Brian Drat,
take a deep breath.
I know, take a
I'm
deep
going to go
breath.
watch us on the background.
No, so Brian Drat, you were not here when we posted this email that we got from an SBA rep. This is the latest and greatest as far as the guidelines being distributed to a certain area or a certain group of reps, etc. And it's that they are not accepting transcripts from the applicant.
Can you post? Okay, so Brian.
Which, by the way, is one of the reasons why we came on tonight, because we did not have this planned. This was totally impromptu. We decided maybe a summer hiatus because we do come on here and we do tend to advise you guys that some of the things you're doing are wrong. We know
it hurts to be on our show.
We know it. And Darlene said you gotta leave it at the door.
So Brian, I just want to point out a comment you made here, Brian, which I want you to take this in the positive spirit that I'm sharing with you as a loan officer and as an advocate for you. Okay, Brian, when you put at the end of your sentence here, the SBA, still the loan officer wants a copy directly from the IRS. Do you understand how that kind of sounds a little passive aggressive?
Yeah.
Okay. The loan officer,
it's their job. It's their
job to approve your loan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without getting fired or being, being accused of.
Brian, here's my advice to you. And this is why I'm always admonishing folks on this show and in our free 15-minute consultations, in our comments, stop questioning and start submitting.
Yeah.
Okay. If there are documents that they're requesting, send it in and stop saying things like, well, the loan officer wants it. The loan officer wants it because they want to give you the money. Okay. She kicked me under the table.
The other thing too is, for the people that comment later when watching the replay, which we appreciate when you watch the replay, when they're like, Trevor's bonkers and bananas. It's like, we care. I know that sounds so cheesy.
I'm also locked in a room for 15 hours.
I know it sounds cheesy, but we're small business owners too. And our entire careers.
Thank you, Chase.
For 30 plus years, 60 60 years, 6 decades combined between us, have been helping business owners for decades. And we've been on your side. But when
I haven't been helping business owners.
Well, you've been helping
First-time
homeowners
homebuyers.
that probably own a business, some of them,
No.
you know. Okay, whatever. You
Very
know,
few of them.
but you've been in the financial services industry. And the point is, we're on your side. We're trying to help you get the money. But when people are resisting or they're not reading emails, that's another thing. They glance and they gloss and they don't read the finer details. I'm guilty of it too. So I'm just gonna, but you know, I've already applied for my loan and I've already gotten the loan and I've already been funded. So, you know.
Brian Dratt says the whole thing is nuts. It's not, Brian. It's not. It's prudent lending decisions. That's what's going on right now. Keep in mind, we say this all the time. When everybody got the money last year, you got the money last year. Congratulations, Jamar. You got the money last year based on your attestations on a website questionnaire.
Yes.
There was no verification at all. Maybe they ran a credit report. Maybe somebody looked up your company's website. But essentially, the United States Congress, the government was like, throw the money into the American economy. So you all are spoiled by that, because if any of you have ever applied for a mortgage loan, which is what I used to do for a living for 30 years, or for a line of credit at a bank for your business, or an equipment loan to buy trucks for your business, or any kind of commercial financing, this stuff, what's going on right now with the increase, yeah, the SBA has its own real bad issues and bad problems, not the least of which is terrible communications, okay? They could probably fix 90% of their problems if they would just tell you all what's going on. But apart from that, y'all are so desperate that you just don't want to step back and understand this is just prudent lending practices. Stop fighting it. Start working with it. Start making the loan officer's job easier.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go.
Brian says he gave it to them right away. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what you gave them, but
And
good. Oh, you compiled whatever she requested.
Okay,
Good.
good.
With cover pages explaining note by point, this is what this is, and this is why I moved this address in 2018, and then we changed shareholders in 2016. You did all that too, because that's the stuff they're looking for as well. No,
I mean, why would that be a problem?
Would applying for government grants while the university be a problem with SBA? No, Anna.
No, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at, and then the dust. Yeah, Michael. Thank you, Darlene.
Thank you, Darlene.
I thought you already did, though. I thought I saw a review from you already.
Darlene made up 78 fake profiles to write
Nice.
78
Yes.
reviews.
Hey, it's okay to make up a fake profile when you're leaving us a review. Just don't do it for the SBA. All right. So with that, no more comments, no more questions. So we have intruded on y'all for 57 minutes. Happy to bid you adieu for now. And hopefully, you know, we only come on our WTF Wednesdays because we've heard some alarming reality checks that have made the process more difficult because we were taking a break because some of you don't want to listen to us bitch and moan and yell at you for being inaccurate and filling out your forms. So we wanted to take a break. But
listen to Darlene. Check your emotions at the door before you come on our show.
yes. No, Michael, you do not have a question. I already know. All right. So wait, now what is this? Is this a question? How can you file for on a? Well, I guess if there is a.
Well,
It depends.
Olukemi, as
excuse me, I'm sorry. We're not ignoring your question. We're actually in the middle of a show. We're not obligated to answer questions. This is a courtesy.
yeah, we're okay. So I guess we're not answering that question.
Wow. Okay.
You were just about to get a really cogent answer from me, but we'll just let it go.
I can't believe like how you.
We're not going to reward behavior like that.
That's what I'm talking.
That's
That's why
very
we're
rude.
That's why we're taking a break. I mean, who
incredibly
needs this? All right. Well, hey,
Jamar, you are quite welcome. Thank you, Jamar.
All righty. Well, everyone, they hate leaving on a busted note like that, but be safe. I don't know where you are, but if it's 90 degrees like it is here, stay inside. And
thank you, Texas Bath Bombs, the cousins.
oh, yeah.
I think y'all are great. Love watching. Dr. J, it is our pleasure, sir, to assist you. And, you know, a couple of final notes we want to share with you. We give you all this free advice based on our real-time, real-world experiences. We do this 7 days a week. We process SBA, EIDL requests for original applications and reconsiderations and appeals. This is what we do. Combined with Linda's 30 years experience as an insurance broker and my 30 years experience as a mortgage banking loan officer. And we bring you information that we want you to take away from us for free. And we're happy with that. We want you to be successful. And we do a 15-minute free phone consultation. The link is down below if you want to book an appointment to chat with me for 15 minutes for free advice. We do that. And all we ask in return is a very small price. Darlene just paid it, which is a Google review on our Google business page.
I mean, we do have, we are monetized, our channel is monetized. So you do have the ability to leave a donation so we can continue to support the channel with, well, you know, time
when people
and
read reviews and they decide to hire us, that helps us to, you know, come here and give free advice. But here's the thing about us giving away free advice.
We're not required.
We're not, okay.
Sorry.
We don't want you to need our advice.
Yeah.
We don't. We want you to be successful. We don't want you to hire us. We want you to get a free 15-minute phone call or pick up something here on our show or watch our YouTube videos in our playlist, about 45 or 60, whatever it is, and learn from that so that you can be successful and you don't need us. Really. We mean that earnestly. We want you to not get declined. We want you to get approved. But we want you to change your mindset. And that's a big part of what we're talking about here. And changing your mindset is to not be so obstreperous about the SBA's processes.
Obstreperous.
It's a federal bureaucracy. Yeah. And for the 15, 16 months I'm working on it, in almost every instance, except very tiny instances, the SBA agents are desperately trying to give you this money. They want to give you the money.
But they're not going to deal with someone who is not pleasant or not nice or not treating them or speaking to them politely. They don't have to, because, you know, they'll wait around until you come to your senses on how to speak to someone politely when they're trying to help you. And so, I mean, even Trevor and I are talking about mindset and mantras. We had to, because we feel it every single day, the pressure that people are under to get the money, and they hire us to help them to alleviate their time management challenges so they can focus on their business and work in their business and do deals in their own business and not worry about the SBA email me.
And to be successful with the process. So
yeah, but now I'm going to forget again. But we had a mantra that we had to. Every single client is smooth and successful.
The EIDL process is smooth and successful for every one of our clients. Yeah.
And we've had to say that every single day.
We forgot to say it today.
We forgot to say it today.
That might be why we had those other issues
today with stuff with people.
Mantras work. Yeah. So, Michael, you're hysterical. Michael, cut it out. Okay, Olukemi, thank you for your apology. So let's answer your question.
Maybe let's circle back and start again. Let's start afresh.
Hi, Olukemi. Welcome to our show. I do appreciate. Okay, so Olukemi's question.
Here it is.
Put that back up, Linda, please. Yes. Thank you very much. So, first of all, how to file for the reconsideration, Olukemi. Please look at our playlist, and you will see all the videos we've done.
There's an EIDL reconsideration playlist. And
we try to break them down to 2 and 3 or 4 minute videos each step of the way. Plus, we are soon to publish our roadmap to reconsideration book, which you can purchase, and that will help you walk you through it as well. Using all the same systems and forms and documents and processes that I use here at Aurora Consulting for our clients.
Get to answering the question.
But let's go to your question. So that's the first part, how to file for reconsideration. But as far as the variance, your answer to this question that the SBA is asking you had better be a damned good answer. I had a loan officer tell me last week, Trevor,
oh God,
because of the fraud that happened, we are being extra careful, unfortunately, and we cannot just simply accept an explanation from somebody that, well, I was in a rush, or I did it on my smartphone and I swiped left instead of swiping right, or whatever. If you have any kind of discrepancy between what you put on the application last year and what's on your tax return transcript, you must put on your thinking cap. be a detective, and be an attorney in a murder trial.
Yeah.
You're the attorney defending your client who did not commit the murder, and you know she's innocent, and you've got to defend her. You've got to bring that level of advocacy to it and that level of evidentiary detail, Olukemi. Put your evidence together. If you put the information together last year using some kind of data point, bring that into the conversation. Show it to the SBA. Say, look, this is the QuickBooks thing I had, or this is the paper ledger that I had with my numbers because my tax return wasn't done yet. Show the date that you filed the tax return if you filed it weeks or months later after you filed the EIDL application. Simply saying, I was in a rush, I made a mistake, is not going to fly. You've got to bring a mountain of detailed point by point. Make it easy for them to give you the money.
And
She kicked me under the table.
I did. Let me
that means to shut up.
Let me point out another real life experience that can translate into this. And what I mean by that, I hate using this as an analogy, but if anyone's ever been through a lawsuit or an accusation, the key is documentation to prove a position or defend an allegation of some kind. Now, I hope none of you have been through a lawsuit, but if you have, and then you understand it's all about the documentation. It's all about explaining the documentation. Now, do I wish I didn't have to use this as an analogy? Do I wish I never went through one to have that as an experience? But when we go through the files and we see the documents and there's discrepancies in the documents that we have to then get explanations.
And we're the advocate for that.
We're the advocate. The client, there's like, oh, I don't remember what happened. Or,
I have a phenomenal, Olukemi, here's a really good story to share with you from my personal life, personal experience, which will give you a sense of what my methodology is. God bless you too, Olukemi. Thank you. What my methodology is when I put together a file for our clients for the EIDL process. So some years ago, when I was in the mortgage business, I had a meeting here in Connecticut, in Stamford, Connecticut. And I went and pulled into the public parking lot and pulled into spot number, let's say 337. And in that particular parking lot, you have to get out of the car and then walk over to a kiosk and pay for the parking and put in your spot number 337. And then walk back, right? Maybe you have to put the receipt. I don't think you have to put the receipt on the dashboard. No, you did not have to put, that's only in New York City. You did not have to put the receipt on the dashboard. All you had to do is walk to the kiosk and pay for the spot and then go on your business. And I did. I paid in the restaurant where I was meeting the attorney, the account, whatever was right there. Come back to the car. There's a parking ticket on the car. I was within my time limit, so I knew, because I'm a kind of cycle like that. If it's an hour-long meeting, I put in 2 hours worth of time just in case. I don't need to go running out and feeding meters. So I said, this is not possible. And I looked at the timestamp on the parking ticket. The timestamp, let's say I arrived at 12:30 and I walked to the kiosk and I paid for it at 12:33. The time on the ticket was 12:34. Or maybe, no, 12. The ticket was just like 1 or 2 minutes. And I remembered when I pulled into the parking lot, I saw the guy driving around, with the little car with the yellow light, the parking guy. He watched me walk. It is clear in my mind that this guy watched me walk to the kiosk, ran over, slapped a ticket on my car before I could pay for it. What a miserable person. Well, anyway.
Okay, yeah.
The point here,
I
wrote a letter to the judge. I showed the documentary evidence. Here's my receipt. Here's the timestamp on the receipt. Here's the timestamp on the ticket. I had to walk 30 yards to the kiosk and then go on to my appointment. It is clear that, ticket was dismissed.
Yeah. I mean, I've had similar situations with, like I got a ticket, but the signage was something, but it's really, it's your job
if you're going to go to
prove
that
your business.
If you're going to go to that
needs
length
these
to, as Linda said with the signage, to get out of a $15 ticket in Sleepy Hollow, New York, where she comes from, or to get out of a $30 ticket, whatever it was in Stamford, Connecticut, where I was. If we're going to go to those lengths to win those arguments that clearly we were not in the wrong, either one of us, what are you willing to do to get $150,000 from the SBA? Or $500,000?
Because getting a loan, you know, we were talking about these 7A loans. Good luck getting any loan outside of the EIDL. Okay, because
lenders are not lending money right now. That's why this whole nonsense about 4506Ts going away is a lot of hooey, because the lenders aren't lending anyway.
Yeah,
they're certainly not going to ignore a tax transcript. I'm sorry. Again, I dare somebody to come onto this show and tell me that this week, next week, that they got approved for a 7A or a 504 from a regular commercial lender, and they ignored the tax transcripts. I dare you.
Well, and the other thing
it's
too,
not going to happen.
Just name a dysfunction at the SBA on a simple process or a simple step in the process that can't get done. I dare you to name, there's dozens of them, and yet you think they're going to remove something like that? That's just not going to happen.
Here's the other side of this whole nonsense with the 4506T going away, because SBA has sent out a memo dated June 20th or 28th or something, telling lenders, hey, listen, because of the delay with the tax return, this is what the other folks on YouTube are talking about, and that folks have come on tonight's show and asking us about, is the 4506T going away. Here's why it's not going to go away. Why the tax transcripts are not going to go away as an essential element of a loan approval for a commercial loan or the EIDL loan, okay? Just because a federal government agency gives a lender the discretion to avoid using a tax transcript to approve the loan, here's why. Forget about lending decisions and credit risk and all that. The lender is not going to take that permission and use it for one simple reason. If the loan defaults, guess who the federal agency, which is the SBA, comes after first? Guess who? The lender. And these lenders are terrified of losing their SBA approval. They're not doing anything that will jeopardize their ability to make massive fees from doing SBA loans.
Yep.
Oh, hell to the no.
We had a silly deli sandwich situation, 90 grand, and this lender who's national, right? Like national, commercial, institutional lending.
Regional. It was a regional lender.
It was regional, whatever. They wouldn't even lend out of their portfolio for 90 grand. 90 grand. They went to the SBA.
700 plus credit scores, combined 30 years experience in the restaurant trade for the two buyers of the business. The financials for the seller were a complete nightmare.
We can tell you stories of absolute
nightmares. And this bank, which purports to be commercial business friendly, would not lend a lousy $90,000 to a sweet, gorgeous deal. Okay? So 4506Ts are not going away.
Yeah, we've seen that too. Yep.
Yeah. We just had that happen last Friday, Mike.
Yeah.
That we talked about this earlier in the show. So we had a client that was declined last year for insufficient credit, and he hired us back in January, February for reconsideration. He did some stupid things in the process that mucked up his own works and got him declined, and went at contra purposes to my process. And he learned his lesson, and I filed an appeal. And I spoke to the loan officer last week, who said to me, listen, he's qualified based on the 2019 revenue for $182,000, but he was only open for 3 months in 2019. Can you get me the 2020 tax return, Trevor? Because I can give him $500,000 if the revenue's there. I said, the revenue's there. He's qualified for $800,000 if you're using the 2020.
Yeah.
So we sent in 2020 tax return. She calls me a few minutes later. She goes, you know what? Can you get me 12 months bank statements? Because I don't want to have make him wait for us to get a transcript on the 2020 return, which has been filed. The 2020 return filed like 2 or 3 months ago. And so we sent in bank statements. And underwriter's discretion, Mike, I keep saying this phrase, it's all about the loan officer's discretion. But understand, folks, if you're asking, and you can't ask, by the way, a loan officer to use their discretion. You've got to leave it for them to suggest it. Yeah. Do not suggest it for them. Do not tell them how to do their jobs. Okay? Well, you know, I heard on YouTube you could do that. Don't do that, because that's the worst thing you can do to a good loan officer. You did that to me on the phone, I was going to decline your loan that afternoon and tell you go to another bank and get your mortgage. I was done with you.
Oh no.
Okay.
You don't even know. We had someone today tell us how we should hire someone just so we can communicate with everyone on a weekly basis. Like Trevor was like, oh, hell to the no.
So
don't tell me how to run my business.
Going back to underwriter's discretion, if all the other elements in your file are really hunky-dory and really in good shape and show the creditworthiness of the applicant, that gives a loan officer and an underwriter more latitude and more enthusiasm about using their discretion for things like that. So again, don't take it for granted. Ashton Bourne.
Ashton, we're down the street. We're coming to visit you. We'll be there in 10.
Ashton is our Cajun client. He's Cajun. He's a true Cajun.
Oh God. Okay, good stuff. Brian, I don't know. Let's see. I had the comment up before about.
Well, Brian Dratt says the IRS advocate called me last night at 9:30 p.m. Said he will fax the transcripts. Good for you, man.
Yeah, awesome.
Hi, Phil.
Hey, Phil. All right. So listen, we've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. Really appreciate, okay. So Darlene, I'm so glad you get us. Okay. Darlene gets us. You got to go back and see her comments. Actually, I'm going to go back and.
By the way, Deadeye 21, when you make a statement like the banks are tight because they're waiting for higher interest rates, that is not how the lending world works, my friend.
Oh, I can't actually.
I did this for 30 years. Interest rate, it does not work like that. Banks do not sit around in a pile of cash waiting to lend it because market conditions change, and that's not how credit risk assessment works. Okay, so just that's one of those observations of the financial industry which is so lacking in the American mindset, because we're not trained to think about banking and credit and money. There's no education about that. But it's one of the real failures of our American system that people walk around thinking, oh, the banks are out to get me. They're not. You've got to step back and look at it from an objective perspective.
I think there's, the human brain and psychology is so fascinating, because sometimes it's very, very difficult when things aren't happening our way, that we find so many different things to get angry about, or to blame, or to project just, difficulties and challenges. And the thing is, like, you're wasting too much energy. It's just sort of like, well, why do you need that? Stop asking that and start.
Deadeye, you're quite welcome for the advice. And I might add to that, what you want to do, Deadeye, and what all of you should do as you come out of the COVID-19 pandemic, because if this was not a time for you all to learn how credit financing works, I don't know what other time is.
This is what I tweeted today. If COVID
Thanks,
was
Ashton.
a wake-up call for many, but some hit the snooze button. Okay.
I thought that was awesome.
So the thing is, like, you can't go around not taking responsibility, but having things in a disarray and think you're not part of the equation. That's just not how it works. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Did I have to disagree with you massively? Banks are not crooked. They're not. It's very hard to be crooked in the banking industry. Are there bad apples? Absolutely.
Yes.
We don't want to name names, but there are. But the industry as a whole is not crooked. Because if the whole system was crooked, our economy would falter and crash, and you'd be living in a hut on the side of a mountain someplace. I just want to say this to business owners about learning from the COVID-19 experience in terms of your interaction with SBA. Get your ducks in a row. And you know what, Deadeye, folks like you, put your best shiny suit and tie on and get out there once COVID clears and start shopping for a bank. I cannot tell you how many people who make that kind of remark that you made, Deadeye, the banks are crooked, except you're doing business with like the worst banks on planet Earth. The banks that don't give a crap about you.
Yes.
Unless you've got $500 billion behind your business, they don't. You're an ant. You're a termite on the bottom of their shoe. Okay? You need to own your business from the perspective of showing your business and how great your business is to a bank, and get a relationship started with a bank that understands you. Like somebody who gets you.
Well, the other thing too is I think there's also a lot of items on a checklist as a business owner that get ignored, that you don't pay attention to. Like, when was the last time you reviewed your insurance to know what coverage you have or you don't have? Or just
For the cost of your premiums.
Or like, just another silly example, we have Adobe Creative Cloud because we do some content stuff and the PDFs, of course. And I learned something about my Adobe stock. I get 10 assets a month, but there's an expiration on that. So I've been paying $30 a month to have 10 assets every month go away when I don't use them. I didn't know that. So I've wasted months and months of fees.
Well, that's on you. I had nothing
that
to do
is
with
on me. And I did talk to the woman and I made some adjustments accordingly. But the little things people aren't paying attention to. I listened to a podcast once where they talked about, you know, all these digital subscriptions to podcasts or to membership type stuff. And maybe the last time you know, your Audible account, when did you use that? Or when you didn't use it? And you've been paying $15 a month for that. And you have 37 credits because you never use it. You know, it adds up. 15 here, 30 there, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we don't need to give you a lesson on budgeting, but
a couple of other things. So Justin, I'm sorry, but we don't discuss grants on our show.
I will tell you, it's a hot mess. That's all there. The news and the broadcasting has been,
you're welcome, Ashton,
scary at best, because they're talking about the billions of dollars the SBA is sitting on, and yet the mapping tool, this, and the funds that are not being released because of that.
Yeah, that's why we don't talk about grants.
It's
okay.
it's a hot mess.
I'm kicking you under the table.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to go back to this concept about the banks. I hear this time and time again from people about their banks ignoring them. Or when I was a mortgage banker and a direct lender, and I would get someone would be referred to me to save their mortgage application because they went to their bank first and their bank denied their loan. And so their real estate agent, their attorney, their best friend, their colleague at work, or somebody said, call Trevor. And you know, I was a problem solver. I'm still a problem solver. And time and again, I would say to people, well, why did you go to your bank? That bank's like the worst bank in the world to get a mortgage from. Well, they have all my money there. Why? This is how you get treated? And by the way, you know, in one ear, out the other, like, people just didn't want to hear from me telling them, if the bank treats you this way, you need to do business with a different bank. Oh,
see, here we go. We're kind of rude. Well, then just unsubscribe or don't visit us.
You don't have to watch our show.
You don't have to watch our show.
There's some good Ferrari stuff, by the way,
God.
Big Fish.
Why are you wasting your time?
I've been watching some V12 Ferrari engine roars. Wow. On YouTube, that's the bomb.
Big fish, small pond.
Thank you, Min. Thank you, Min. Yeah. Appreciate you, too. And Nollins. I hope you're not going to get affected by the hurricane or the tropical storm.
On the 2 million cap, I think it's an interesting
You're
question.
welcome, Deadeye.
They took forever to get from 150 to 500.
Well, it wasn't really forever. It was less than a year, but, you know.
It felt like forever for people who actually, you know, qualified for $443,000 and they got $150. That was forever.
All right, so let's answer Mike's question. We don't know, Mike.
Well, we don't know. Yeah.
We do know that Isabella Guzman, the administrator of the SBA, who is a rock star, in my opinion. I hope that doesn't sound rude, Big Fish.
Are we rude for not caring about what they think?
Isabella Guzman is a rock star, in my opinion. She's a graduate of Wharton School of Business, 2 degrees, not 1, 2 degrees, and her own successful entrepreneur in her own right. She is bandying about, talking about increasing the limit. In my opinion, Mike, to answer your question, my opinion is I think SBA needs to work through the EIDL increase process first, and then I think they will have all of the data they need so that when all the businesses qualify for more than 500,000 and they raise the limit, then it'll go like that. Think about what's going on right now. Right now, the SBA is putting documents into your files, your 2019 tax return. They're asking you all the hard questions. Why is that address here? Why did you have this bank account? Better copy your driver's license. And they're putting these files together. And many businesses are qualified for substantially more than 500,000, hopefully up to the limit of $2 million when it's raised. In my opinion, at that point, when that happens, SBA will have all your data, and it'll just be, it literally could be point and click and get approved for the $2 million. That's my hope and my prediction, Mike. I say this because I did about 18 restaurant relief fund grant applications for our EIDL clients. We can't charge for the restaurant relief, so we did it as a courtesy for our paying clients for the EIDL program. And I did 18 applications, and I will tell you that RRF was an SBA program. That application was gorgeous. It was easy to do. It auto-filled key data about the business, including their existing PPP loans. I didn't even have to do any of the math on calculating the loan amount, even though I had done it before, the grant amount rather. I had done the math beforehand, so I had an expectation of what my client was going to get. If SBA can bring that kind of technology into the $2 million level, that's my opinion. I think that's what they're doing, Mike. So, Nakia, thank you. I love the yoga pose, Nakia. That's the bomb. Justin.
Yes. But yeah, we just, there's a lot of people that report on it that they have more accurate information than we do. We work mostly on the loans themselves and not the grants. So I have a question about expanding my business with the.
Well, Ashton, you're a client, so why don't we talk about that on the phone sometime?
Yeah.
Let's get you your approval, because once your EIDL is approved, part of our consulting practice here at Aurora Consulting is that I will then describe to you, go through the loan agreement with you, and they say, look, this is what you can do and this is what you can't do with the funds. So let's cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah. The other thing, while some of you who don't think we're rude are still here, we do have another channel that we started which
is definitely not rude like this one.
Which is sort of our strategy plan for when at some point, we will not be doing EIDL loans anymore as far as, offering consulting advice. So we started another channel on general business concepts that we've experienced. And the way I like to put it is we talk about mistakes we've made so you don't make them. And would love for you guys to hang out over there and check it out. Where's the damn banner for me to give you? Okay. Yes.
I want to know what Phil Morgan's cracking up about.
Simple Sense for Small Business. We got the custom URL. So that was fun because I pimped out to get 100 subscribers so we can do that. So we talk about sales. Who hates talking about sales? Who hates sales?
I love talking about sales.
Thinking about selling stuff.
We talk
about that on Tuesday. We just did that podcast style video on Tuesday. So check it out. Phil, are you laughing about because we're rude? I know, we're so rude. All right. We're going to sign out because
Thank you, Min.
Tired of being so
very
rude.
Much. Telling the truth. The truth hurts.
The truth hurts sometimes. This is not an easy time for anybody.
If the truth hurts, watch kitten videos.
It's not an easy time for anybody. And the reason we get to be rude is because we've seen the mistakes. We've seen the mistakes that the clients have made. We have fixed the mistakes. We've seen what the SBA has done.
We're passionate about what we're sharing with you because we want you to be successful. We offer this free advice so that you are successful. And you know what we ask for? Thank you, Phil. Thank you. We ask you to write a Google review. That's all. Small price to pay for the free advice we give you.
Well, the rude advice, right? All right, let's go. All right, everyone, please stay safe, stay well, stay patient, stay happy, stay cool. If you're outside and you don't have AC, go to a restaurant, go to a movie theater. Before we had AC, we just had AC installed this year. We waited 5 years. We had to save up to get AC, and we finally got
Central air.
Central air. We used to go to the movie theater and hang out there to thaw out. Or
our Cajun friend Ashton Bourne. Y'all go to bed. Quit explaining yourselves. Stay groovy, Jeff Hansen. Pizza, baby.
Why are y'all leaving?
I don't know. El Sammy TV says, wait. Okay, well, why y'all leaving?
I think he meant, why are you leaving the EIDL consulting? Because it's not sustainable.
Well, it only has a shelf life.
It's emotionally,
blessings,
it's not
Nakia.
sustainable.
Thank you with your awesome yoga pose, Nakia.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Take care. Stay safe.
Good night, folks. Thanks
Ciao.
for tuning in.
Bye.